Let's make some noise. Come on.
All righty, Nick Foles, thank you very much. And yes, indeed, let's make some noise. Welcome back, everybody, to another broadcast week, another start of another broadcast week of the Final Word here on the edge of It's a Wrap Sports Network. Damn. It's the dog barking in the background that's got me off my game. It's a Wrap Sports Network with your boy MattyB on the call, and it's great to be back with you on this Sunday night. I hope all is well, and I hope you had a great Thanksgiving Day, Thanksgiving weekend, and I hope your holiday Christmas season has started off with a bang, and we will be here with you through your Christmas season. Do your Christmas shopping with us. Put me on while you're at the store getting in those late-night deals as we are entering another Christmas season, and I could not be happier. My third favorite time of the year. Third, Halloween, opening day of baseball, and Christmas season. They're my three favorite times of the year. So that's great. But welcome back to the program. Man. So I know there's probably a lot of people out there that are thinking that I've waited patiently for 48 hours to get my say in about what's been happening with the football team. And honestly, I take no pleasure in it. I take absolutely no joy in what I'm about to report. I take no gratitude. It's not humorous to me. It's actually sad. It's a sad state of affairs for the Philadelphia Eagles, and we're going to dissect that travesty of a football game on Friday. We're going to look at what went wrong, but that's going to take about 5 seconds because, honestly, what went wrong on Friday has been going wrong all season, and we have been talking about it. But we'll go back over it, I guess, for those people that are not yet understanding what is wrong with the football team. We're going to go back into that. We're going to look at what may be the fix. Of course, I've been waiting for suggestions on a fix, and nobody has been able to provide me one except for the obligatory fire Kevin Padullo. And I don't think that's going to do it, honestly. I think that this problem goes deeper than the offensive coordinator du jour, because once again, we're wanting to fire a coordinator, but yet we're going to bitch and moan about the fact that we've been going through coordinators like socks, right? So what is it, man? We firing coordinators? Are we going to let somebody roll something out? Is it the coordinator? Is it Kevin Padullo? I mean, is he standing up on the bridge of the Titanic Philadelphia Eagles? And is he been designated to go down with this ship? Is he being scapegoated? I think he is. Now, I'm not calling him the greatest offensive mind since Bill Walsh. I ain't doing any of that. But I don't think the guy's a blundering fool either. I think the head coach is a blundering fool, and your fraud GM is a bumbling fool. And we'll discuss some of that tonight as well. So we'll talk Eagles-Bears. We'll talk what went wrong. We'll talk what's the fix. And we'll talk the Fraud Bowl. That's right, the Fraud Bowl. Kyle Quinn so elegantly. I mean, I cannot wait to speak to him on Thursday to give him his props on this. He stated that the loser of this game would be the winner of the Fraud Bowl. Now, one of my first questions, a little sneak peek of what the Birds Blast on Thursday might look like. One of my first questions to Kyle is going to be, are you now going to own that statement and claim in front of God and country that the Philadelphia Eagles in 2025 are frauds? And I want to see where he comes out on that. I want to see how honest the young man is, but we'll have to wait till Thursday on that. Well, we're going to talk a bunch of stuff tonight. We're also going to get into some Flyers hockey, man. What a weekend for the Orange and Black. A hell of a weekend, a hell of a growth spurt for your hockey team. Handling business in back-to-back nights up in Long Island and then out in Jersey. 2 wins, 2 huge wins against divisional opponents, 2 solid wins. And has put them in a really good position heading into the Christmas time frame when hockey really heats up. So we'll talk some Flyers. We'll also get into our of the night segment and, of course, our day in Philadelphia sports history, our card review. And if there's time remaining, we'll stoke up the MLB hot stove. Some trades were done, not officially done, reportedly done. Some signings were made. Not officially, but reportedly. And of course, nothing's going on with the Phillies. Not a damn thing. Not a damn thing happening with the Phillies right now. Rumors, conjecture, reports, sideways eyes, whatever. Nothing you could put on paper with the Phillies so far into this offseason. So if we have time, we'll hop into the MLB hot stove and see if we can turn up the heat even more. And our phone lines will be open. That's right. Phone lines are going to open up tonight because I know there's some people out there that want to vent, and I want to be here for you because I am listening. So let's get it going. But before we do, let's backtrack a little bit and let's talk to you about the week that's upcoming here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network tonight, or tomorrow, I should say. You got the final word with me, and then Mike Laro is going to be doing some clearing the ice Tuesday, props, locks, and parlays, and me Wednesday, the Pittsburgh Sports Desk, and some Flyers Sabres. I will not be on Wednesday night because of post-game obligations. I have the post-game. Thursday night's our big day, Birds Blast, Gridiron Weekly, and me. Nothing on Friday and Saturday, guys, man. It is barren on Friday and Saturday. I apologize. I can make a promise to you that this will be the final week, that nothing will be on Friday night. We will have an announcement very soon about a new show that's going to make its debut on Friday, December the 12th. We've already talked about it. It's Big Al's adventure. He's going to return to the airwaves on a weekly basis as a host of the new Friday night show here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network. So we'll talk a little bit more of that when I find out a little bit more of that, because not only are you in the dark about it, well, so am I. So hopefully Al provides me some content here. Saturday, we got nothing. Again, no post games. Penn State's football season's over. No Flyers games on Saturday. A dead day in Philadelphia sports on Saturday. And then we'll return with a gusto on Pearl Harbor Day, December 7th, with the Philly AM Sports Show, the Steel City pre and post game, and then Flyers Avs. And I don't know why I did not put me down for that. I will be on the air. I thought the Flyers Avs was a night post game. I'll change that. I will be on the air on Sunday night doing the final word. So, of course, we don't got football again until Monday, which I think is somewhat needed at this point. I think the city and the fan base, the team, the players, they all need some time to sort of figure things out. There will be no football until Monday night, and we'll be here to have it for you against the Chargers. But I think they need a break. They needs a break. Fire them phone lines up. I will, Kaepernick. I promise. Give me about 5 minutes. Well, I say 5 minutes. It's going to be more than that. But I will fire up the phone lines. I got to get through my spiels before I do that. But yes, the phone lines will open up tonight, as I know there's people out there that want to get it off their chest, and we'll get into it. But let's start with our day in Philadelphia sports history. So let's strap it in, strap it on, strap it up. Keep your head, hands, and feet inside the car at all times. And here we go. 1997 is your day in Philadelphia sports history on this day, November 30th. Eagles point, by the way. Quarterback Bobby Hoying. Remember old number 7 from Ohio State? Bobby Hoying was going to be the next great thing. Ray Rhodes brought him here. Just terrible. I mean, 97 when they put him in the lineup wasn't that bad. I mean, he had flashes of brilliance, but man, his career wheels fell off in 1998, and he didn't make it through the season, and ended up getting shipped off to the Raiders when Andy Reid got here. And I think he hung out with the Raiders for a couple seasons with John Gruden, got into a few games, but that was pretty much the end of his career. As terrible quarterback, man, terrible. But on this day in November 30th, back in 1997. He threw 4 touchdown passes in a thrilling 44-42 Week 14 win over the Bengals. Those 4 touchdowns carried heavy expectations for the suddenly touted savior going into the 98 season. His last as a starting quarterback in the NFL. Forget 4 in a single game, and his 7 starts in 98, Hoying would fail to throw a single touchdown pass. So Hoying got it all out of his system on this day back in 97, throwing 4 touchdown passes in an Eagles win over the Bengals, and then came and followed that up with a offer in 98 in his 7 starts as a starting quarterback for the Eagles. And then, as I mentioned, when Andy Reid showed up, he was on his way to Oakland, along with, I want to say Rodney Peete was out there with them. I think at one point, Pete and Hoying were the second and third string quarterbacks out in Oakland under John Gruden, like the early, like 99, 2000 period before they struck gold with Rich Gannon. But yeah, Bobby Hoying, man, what a joke of a quarterback. So speaking of jokes, speaking of something that's going to make you laugh or not, maybe might make you cry. We'll talk some Eagles football now because it's hard for me to put eloquently into words what happened on Friday at the link. And, you know, I had the vibe about it from the opening drive when the Bears ran up and down the field on the Eagles to score a touchdown there to get well, no, they didn't score, but they gashed the hell out of the Eagle run defense. I saw it right from that point that the defense was obviously somewhere else. Maybe they hit Thanksgiving dinner too hard. I don't know. But they were not ready to play that football game defensively from the outset of the game. Then the offense comes in and doesn't do anything surprising. I mean, they play the way they've been playing all year, which is completely ineffective. And you just had that feeling that this game was going to be similar to the others. Now, I don't know if we really, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I truly grasped what was going to happen. And I was going to truly grasp the fact that the Bears would put up, 288 rushing yards, something along those lines, 281 rushing yards, that they would, as of the 10-minute mark of the third quarter. I want you to wrap your heads around this. With 10 minutes remaining in the third quarter, the Bears had run 51 plays to the Eagles 20. The Eagles had ran 20 plays by the 10-minute mark of the third quarter. Now, forgive me if I'm wrong. Aren't the first 15, 16 one of those plays, aren't they the scripted plays? And they apparently were the worst. 51-20 by the third quarter, 10-minute mark of this game. Absolutely stunning. For the game, the Bears ended up running 85 offensive plays, and the Eagles ran 51. The NFL average per game with plays is 60 a game. So the Bears went 25 plays over the NFL average in this football game against the Eagles. And, you know, the funny part about this, as this game was sort of like unfolding, and this is where I give Eagle fans immense credit. We all felt the same way. Every Eagle fan that was watching that football game, even though it was only 10-3 at one point, and a majority of the game, we all knew that we were going to lose. We all knew it. They were down by one score, but nobody had any confidence at the fact that the Eagles were going to be able to overcome that one score. That's why I tip my cap to the Philadelphia Eagle faithful. I truly do. Truly the most intelligent, passionate fan base in all of football. Love it. When you're down 10-3, one score, and you're booing the hell out of them because you know they're not coming back. Because you know that what you're seeing happening on the field is so egregious and so negligent that it might as well have been 40-3. Because that's about the chances that this team had to come back. Terrible football game across the board. The offense, the predictability of the offense is now hit the NFL apparently film room, as now every defensive coordinator knows exactly what the Eagles are doing offensively. Just like, I'm not going to say it. Yes, I am. Just like in 2023. Right? I remember that. In 2023, it was the same thing. Predictability. Now, was it on defense or offense that it was predictable? I don't know. I don't remember which side of the negligent ball it was in 2023, but I do remember predictability being part of what the Eagles brought in and out of every single game towards the back end of that collapse of 2023. And just like this show title indicates, tell me that we are not. And again, I said it at the top. I'm going to say it now. I don't take pleasure in this. I don't pat myself on the back. I don't want to sit here and tell you, told you so, even though I've recognized this and I've been vocal about this since friggin' May when the bad offseason was over. And I was like, are we really getting rid of all these contributors and we're bringing nobody in? And also we're going to rely on a draft class. And by the way, for the Howie Roseman sect of you out there that's watching tonight. How you doing? Do you know how many snaps the 2025 Eagle draft class took in this football game? Do you know? Can you ballpark it? Can you give me a number? I'll help you out. 0. The entire 2025 draft class took 0 snaps in this football game. So the offseason plan was to let big-time contributors go. And by the way, one of those big-time contributors was laughing at the Eagles as he's walking off the field. Old CJ, DJ, KJ, PJ. All right? You let contributors walk away. You brought in Class B and C free agents. You rolled the dice, and you thought, you prayed, you hoped, even though there was nothing that, as a fan, you saw the fact that there was the draft picks on this team that weren't playing. There was no indication that they could step up into a role to help out a team that was trying to win back-to-back Super Bowls. But you rolled the dice. You said, you know what? No, these draft picks can work, and I'll rely on my 2025 draft class to help out as well. 0 snaps taken by the 2025 Eagle draft class in this football game. So where are you now, Howie? You fraud. You absolute goddamn fraud. Fraud of a GM, man. Absolute fraud. But no, I'm crazy. Right? I'm the nut job. I'm the crackpot. Doesn't know what I'm talking about. You got a fraud GM and you drank the Kool-Aid. And now you're stuck with him. I hope you guys are happy together. No, I don't. No, I don't wish that, because at one day soon, I want to free my football team. I want to free my football team from the negligent grip of Howie Roseman, Nick Sirianni. It has to happen soon. And unfortunately, things like this have to happen in order for my team to be free. Negligence is what this is. A missed opportunity to run back another Super Bowl chance, back-to-back, Eagles dynasty, all that. Now, MattyB, you might say, it's week 13. They have a chance. Really? Really? Does anybody out there think they're going to go back to the Super Bowl? Not only that, does anybody think that they're going to win the Super Bowl? With the way this offense is, and there's no help coming, with the way the defense is gassed, people are throwing the defense underneath the bus on this game. They've been throwing the defense under the bus for the performances against Dallas and Chicago. I ain't going to sit here and tell you the defense was played well. I'm not. But when the Bears run 85 plays to the Eagles 21 or 51, there's a problem. When the Bears rip off 51 plays by the 10-minute mark of the third quarter and the Eagles rip off 20 plays, there's a problem with that. Is the defense getting rolled up? Is the defense getting plowed under? Yeah, they're friggin' tired. You can nitpick all you want about the defense, but the defense is the only reason why the Eagles are 8-4. That's it. With maybe the exception of that Rams game. Maybe I'll give that one to the offense. So 7-4 is why the Eagles are, because of the defense. So if you're one of those ignorant fans out there that thinks the problem rests with the defense, brother, I can't help you, man. There's homers, and then there's homers. And I can't help you. The problem starts, ends, begins, sideways, up, down, vertical, horizontal with the offense. Now, we're going to get into the offense because this is going to be fun. Fun. Firing Kevin Patullo and bringing a new offensive coordinator, it can't hurt nothing. It might work. It might not. Peppernick, I agree. I in the essence of trying to change something, in the essence of not doing the same thing week after week over and over and over and over and over again, and just infuriating you, maybe we're at that point to fire the offensive coordinator. Maybe I don't necessarily agree with that. I don't, because at the same time, not you, Peppernick, but at the same group of Eagles fans that are throwing up the pitchforks for Kevin Patullo are going to be the same group of Eagles fans holding up the pitchforks of saying we constantly are firing and losing offensive coordinators. What is it? What do we want here? I'm not telling you he's done well. I'm not. But I also am not relieving the players, Michael Peppernick. It's not hard to see. Saquon Barkley. What do we say? Again, this how frustrating this is for me to have to go over this week after friggin' week after week. And I've been saying it since the offseason. They're in trouble if Barkley cannot replicate 2024. I've said it a million times because Jalen Hurts is not that kind of quarterback. Yes, I said it again. He's not that type of quarterback. You know what? For all you, and I put out a little thing on the Twitter the other day, and that was me, by the way, if you're wondering who put that up there on the It's a Wrap Sports X account. Why not make a switch at quarterback? What the hell do you got to lose at this point? The playbook is obviously not fully open to Jalen Hurts. Things that Kevin Padula wants to run are not able to be grasped by your elite MVP quarterback. So why not make a move? Who cares? What can it hurt at this point? Put Tanner McKee in. It might send a message. You want to send a message? You're all about messaging? Send the message by benching that starting quarterback, putting Tanner McKee in, and seeing what he can do. It's all about messaging, right? Boy, that would definitely send a message that you're benching Jalen Hurts. And what harm could it do at this point? The offense is dead in the water. It is dead. It's flatlined. There's no pulse. And you can't go back to the closet and pick out another player because you don't have them. So yes, Kevin Padula's a problem. I agree, but is he the reason why they're going out on the field and not executing? Why are they running base formation plays? Why is their offense so predictable? Do you honestly think that Kevin Padula is sitting here, and I've used this so many times too, rolling up his handlebar mustache going, we're going to run it up the middle again. I want them to be mad at me. No. How much more? How much is it execution in terms of, or I should say, how much is it play calling versus not trusting your quarterback and opening up the playbook for him? There's got to be some of that going on, right? Let's be honest. It can't just be all the offensive coordinators an incompetent boob that's walking around with the sidelines with his hat on backwards. No. And he's not the autonomous voice with play calling. You guys know how this works, right? Everyone's got one of them headsets on. There's conversations going back and forth. People are putting their 2 cents worth in. The CEO, fraud-ass head coach Nick Sirianni is probably dropping his 2 cents in. Before you tie Kevin Padula to the train tracks, let's understand something. He's the messenger. The executioners are out on the field, and they're failing to do things for whatever reason. The offensive line is hurt. Jalen Hurts runs a limited playbook because they don't trust his skill set. Saquon Barkley has lost a step. A.J. Brown has lost a step. Whatever that reason is, they're not executing. So a generalized slash across the bow and firing Kevin Padula, it'll send a message, right? But does it cure the problem? Does it? We've done this before about 1,000 times on this show. We've gone back in time, 2021, 2022, 23, 24, and 25. Each one of those years, a new offensive coordinator, right? 21, Jalen Hurts' rookie year. Yeah, well, actually, didn't they have the same one in 21, 22 with Steichen? What? Jalen Hurts captured lightning in the bottle, had an MVP caliber season in 2022, came that close to winning a Super Bowl. Then 2023 happens. And everyone's like, oh, they're 10-1. Yeah, win's a win. Remember that? Oh, I do. Of course, I remember 2023. Then it all unraveled. But we forget the offense's part in this. I'm not saying it was their fault. We want to gravitate towards the bad defense, which they were bad. But the offense was predictable, and the offense was one layered in 2023. So what happens? We go to 2024 with a new offensive coordinator, same offense, and we struggled through the first 4 games 2-2. So what did they do? We're not going to let Jalen throw the ball anymore. Or we're going to let the run set the pass up. We're not letting Jalen Hurts try to win us a football game with his arm. And what happens? Saquon Barkley amasses over 2,500 all-purpose yards. Eagles win a Super Bowl. 2025, new offensive coordinator. Can Saquon Barkley replicate what he did in 2024? Because if he can't, we're going to go back to the pre-Saquon era of 24 and 23 with the same offense. But we're going to throw another coordinator under the bus saying it's his fault. It might be Kevin Padula's fault, but it's also those offensive football players. And why is the quarterback limited? Why do they hold him back? I want to know. Eagles suck. Star Wars with always the in-depth stuff. The Chargers quarterback, Justin Herbert, fractured his left hand in Sunday's win versus the Raiders and will undergo surgery Monday. It's uncertain he'll miss any time. I probably will. The offense was predictable in 2023. Absolutely. But we forget about that. We want to pin it all on the bad defense. When I was bringing up the 2023 comparisons earlier this year, when I saw the friggin' handwriting on the wall, because we were throwing out the win is a win thing a lot during those first 7-8 weeks. And I was like, this sounds awfully familiar. And the football looks awfully familiar too. But when I brought up the 2023 comparison, I took a lot of grief for that. Oh, no, it ain't going to be 2023. Oh, it's the defense is better. Who cares, man? You're alleviating the offense? The offense is one layered. It's been one layer since Jalen Hurts has been here. The only time that it was 1.5 layered was last year when the run set up the pass. Do you see I'm not a scientist. I went to college, but, I ain't that smart. Hell, I was in the Army for 30 years. How smart can I be? But do you see the correlation here? But I'm not exonerating Kevin Patullo from responsibility, nor am I exonerating Nick Sirianni, nor am I exonerating Jalen Hurts. If you want to send a message, bench your starting quarterback. That'll send a message. Rip open that playbook. Tell Tanner McKee to run the XY, slant 3 pattern on 5. Whatever, man. Get him out there and send him out. Throw him to the Wolves to see what he does. If it doesn't work, yank his ass out and put Hurts back in. But right now, the offense is not doing anything. And I don't know of another, you change play callers. That's great, man. We bring another play caller in week freaking 13 or 14, whatever we're looking at right now. Then we're going to give the excuse, well, you got to give the offensive coordinator some time to figure things out. We don't got that kind of time. I'm not saying it's a bad idea. And I'm certainly not saying it is a headlining idea that's being thrown around in a lot of circles right now. But please, let's not lose sight that the offense is still the same people. And that they are accountable for not only the problems in 2025, but the pre-Saquon problems as well. That's why I'm having a hard time understanding why people are so in the dark about this football team. If this team does not make the playoffs or lose one and done, it's time to fire Sirianni and the staff, except for Statler. Statler, well, okay, well, let's examine that. They're going to get to the playoffs. There's no way they're not making the playoffs. They would have to, even the only way they're not going to make the playoffs is if they lose out. Jeez. No living with me then. But if they lose out and go 8-9, okay, yeah, they're not making the playoffs, then someone's getting fired. Man, I hope they clean up the whole nest. Roseman, Sirianni, Stoutland, Fangio, Patula, the entire group goes, man. Can you imagine that? They're Kaepernick losing out. Oh my God. I'd have content for a year. No, man. Listen, I don't think they're going to lose out. So I definitely think they're making the playoffs. But you're right. Because if they make the playoffs and they go one and done, how can you not sit here and tell me that's not a collapse? How can you sit here and tell me that? It's the same exact thing that happened in 2023. This season is running the same playbook. That playbook apparently is wide open, the 2023 playbook for the Eagles to run. You're right. But the question will now go, does Sirianni have some credit in the bank because of winning a Super Bowl? I don't think he does. It's not hard to find out what he did. Absolutely nothing to help the Eagles win a Super Bowl last year. Saquon Barkley and the defense did. All right. I mean, let's be honest, but you're right. It's going to be an interesting conversation piece. If the Eagles don't make the playoffs, if they don't make the playoffs, you got to fire them. There's just no way you can talk your way out of that. And you got to fire Roseman too. You got to fire Roseman too if you don't make the playoffs. if you don't make the playoffs, or if you make the playoffs, you go one and done. Yeah, I mean, do you sit down and have a serious conversation about Sirianni? Yeah. And would I be upset if you fired him? No. Would I expect them to fire him? Probably not. Probably not. But I wouldn't be upset. It'd be one step closer to freeing my football team, man. One step. Oh, geez. I'm way behind, guys. I'm sorry. Defense fell apart. Did they fall apart, Star Wars, or did they just like run out of energy, man? I just said it. 85 plays they were on the field for. 85. And don't forget, Star Wars, this game was in reach. It was 10-3 late. Eagles were down by 1 touchdown. 1 late. They couldn't do anything offensively. I say the defense did everything they could to try to keep them in the game. Yeah, they gave up 280 some odd rushing yards, but they made stops when they had to. Caleb Williams stinks as quarterback. This game should have been out of reach. Caleb Williams sucks. Ben Johnson's an amazing play caller, but Caleb Williams sucks, man, as a quarterback. But the game was in reach. The defense did not fall apart. The offense did. The defense just ran out of energy. Star Wars, let me ask you this, man. If you were in a situation where you're part of something that you got to go out and do a job, and then you're part of not necessarily the job getting done correctly, but you're involved in it. You're a piece of that. And you're constantly having to go back out there and hold your own, hold down the fort, got to keep them away, got to do what you got to do. And then the other group goes out there and it's like, hey, guess what? Yeah, 3 and out. Here we come. We're coming back off. Well, come on, man. Really? I just got off the field. You're going to get a little winded, both psychologically and physically. I'm not going to sit here 280 some odd yards of rushing. Yeah, absolutely. They got to figure that out. But the defense did amazing to try to keep this game within reach. It was the offense that failed them. Just like it's failed them against the Cowboys, like it failed them all season long with the exception of the Rams. Again, I'm not exonerating the defense. They're part of this. But they're a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest right now, Star Wars. There's something to that. Bring in a veteran OC like they did with Fangio. It's funny the Eagles offense plays well with the offensive coordinators Moore and Steichen, who are veterans and connect at the hip to connect at the hip to Sirianni. It's funny that the Eagles offense plays well with offense. Okay, Moore and Steichen. I'll give Shane Steichen his due. Steichen was working with a young Jalen Hurts, a young offense. Finally got some weapons in 22 when they brought in A.J. Brown. I think the Eagles kind of took the NFL a little bit by storm with Steichen and Hurts kind of rounding into form in that year. I thought the NFL figured Hurts out by 23, and I think that's obvious. But yeah, I mean, Steichen got a head coaching job from it, and obviously he's doing well in Indy. Kellen Moore, again, Michael Kaepernick, did the offense play well under Kellen Moore? Where did Saquon Barkley play well? You're missing the big point here. You take away Saquon Barkley out of that offense last year. You had the same offense you got this year. You had the same offense you had in 23 and the same offense you had in 22. I think we're putting way too much on the coordinator. Yes, good coaching matters. Complex schemes matter. Being creative and innovative matter. But do you think he's sitting on the sidelines going, I'm purposely not doing those things because I want us to lose? No, I don't think that's the case. I think he's limited of what he's working with on the field. Why can't we turn our eye to the offensive players? Come on, guys. This is not that hard. So Kevin Padula is not throwing the games every week saying, what terrible play can I come up with this week? It's time to focus in on the offensive players. They're not holding up their end. Sirianni could tell Steichen or Moore what to do, and just think about that. Well, Sirianni could not. Okay, listen. Again, I disagree with that. I know where you're headed, and I understand where you're going. And maybe they had a little bit more cash in the bank to say, no, we're running this play. No, we're running that play. And I know the connection of Padullo and the connection of Sirianni. I get that. But then again, I also don't think Nick Sirianni's a clumsy, incompetent. No, he wants to win too. He's been involved in the pro football game for a long time. Just out of all the time he spent on the sideline, you would think he would know better than some of this stuff. We're making it judgments and assessments only knowing half the story. We don't know what plays they're allowed to run or what plays they feel comfortable running based on the skill set of your offensive players. We don't. And we're never going to know that. And yes, Sirianni gets in front of that microphone. And I am not a Sirianni guy, not even a slightest bit. He's a fraud. But he gets up there and he falls on that sword every week. Would you rather him get up there and say, listen to me, pages 18 through 34 of the playbook, I can't run because Jalen Hurts doesn't understand that? Would you rather him get up there and say that? I would. It would say a lot. It would help me out a lot. But he's not going to say stuff like that. Again, I'm not saying you're wrong. I am not. But I'm just, to me, it's not a quick fix. It's not. I don't think it's going to do much because you're still going to have the same circus. You're just going to bring in a different clown. And I don't think it's going to work. I think it's more with the players you got. Cut hurts. Yes. Hashtag Tanner time. I'm not kidding. Why not? What do you got to lose at this point? I mean, you're still in a relatively good spot, even though the Cowboys are breathing down your neck. You're 8-4. You still got the division. You're top 3 in the conference. Why not? Why not? Is it sacrilege to pull Jalen Hurts? Is it sacrilege to say, guess what, Jalen? You're not having a good season, and we want to see if we can do something else? Is it sacrilege to say, we've tried everything we can with you on offense? It ain't working. We're going to put somebody else in. Is that sacrilege? I mean, if you ask me, it's sort of like par for Jalen Hurts' football career. Right? But why not? Why not look to another avenue? I'm not saying a full-time switch. Put him in there for a game. See if he wakes up the offense. Go it in the week 4. Oh, we are. Okay. Go in the week 14. I'm sorry. We missing Lane Johnson. We're missing a lot. Lane Johnson obviously is a huge kick in the balls. The Cam Jurgens injury situation. Landon Dickerson. Tyler Steen. Woo! Man. So at the end of the year, guys, I don't know if you know, if you weren't listening last year, I'll key in on this. So at the end of every year, I go back through and I evaluate a draft class. So the MattyB rule is that we don't evaluate draft class until they've played 3 NFL seasons, right? And this, after 2025, we get to sit down and evaluate and hand out final grades. And what I mean by final grades, I give them 2 grades, bust or a hit. And we hand out those final grades at the end of the season. And this year's draft class that we get to evaluate for the final time is the 2023 draft class. And that would be Tyler Steen's draft class. So can't wait till you see that. That's going to be coming up at the end of the season. So make sure you stay tuned for that. They might lose the division in Dallas and be 1-1. Yeah. Listen, I agree. Dallas is breathing down their neck. Dallas is playing amazing football right now. This would be such a Philly thing to do, to go out and lose a division to the Cowboys. I'm not ready to say that yet because I'm out on the Eagles. I won't sit here and people that know me will tell you that I'm out, but I am no way in any terms in with the Cowboys in any way. I cannot stand the Dallas Cowboys, and nor will I ever support or root or advocate for them. But reality of the situation is, you're right. I mean, it's hard to kind of sit here and say that they're not a contender to probably take this division over. Yeah. Sirianni has no credit. It's still a HC, even though yeah, but no, there is some credit there. Defense will be deadish by the end of the season. Again, of all the offensive talent they led it. Yeah, unacceptable. They figuring out Saquon. They figured out Saquon. And it wasn't this year, Star Wars. When was it? It was, what's his name? Spagnuolo in the Super Bowl. He provided the blueprint on how to stop him. Now, Saquon, to his benefit, has not run well. People were saying, well, he doesn't look he doesn't look like he lost a step. Hell yeah, he does. Now, how slow it takes him to get in that hole. Now, the holes are smaller, and they're not necessarily open that long. The offensive line is dinged up. They're out. They're hurt. Some of them have been hurt literally all year. I give you there. There's no lack of depth along the offensive line to help them. Again, there's your fraud GM at work. Once again, not doing anything. And what about your trade deadline acquisitions? Last time I saw Jalen Phillips, they were carrying him off the field as he was wobbling around like he might have suffered a concussion. What's happened to Jalen Phillips in the last 2 games? We're not going to talk about Howie's great trade deadline acquisitions. The fact that Howie Roseman has traded 4 draft picks away since September, that he's also traded 9 players in total this year. What about those great trade deadline acquisitions? Where are you at now, homers? I want to hear from you. Never addressed the offensive line. Never addressed the backup tight end position. Did not provide any depth along that line. You went out and got some defense. Like, that was the problem. Which it was. I'm not going to say it wasn't. But what was the more pressing problem? I guess we were the only ones that thought it was the offensive line. No, I disagree. Teams was unprepared 2 weeks in a row. No excuse for that. It is the coach's job. It's the coach's job to prepare a team. Yes, absolutely. And it's also a coach's job to hold the team accountable when they are not prepared. Because at the end of the day, when they hit the field, the coach can do all the talk he wants and tell you, are you ready? All he wants. But at the end of the day, if the player fails or if the team fails, then what do? What's the repercussions of that? And I'm not sitting here telling you they were 100% in on any one of those last 2 games. But this has been the level of play all season long, especially from the offense. The defense has been a little wonky over the last 2 games. But we saw the defense kind of get gassed out right at the end, right before the bye week. Then they came back rejuvenated for those first 2 games against the Packers and Lions. And now here we go. We're sliding down that slide. I said it on this show. After the bye, there's 9 weeks or 9 straight football games until they have another bye week. And that would be if they get that first round bye by winning the conference. Can the defense hold up under the strain of the offense? I'm not sitting here telling you you're wrong. You're right, 100%. But okay, what's the repercussion when they're not prepared? What are we doing? Is anybody not playing? Anybody missing playing time? Is he finding people? Is it such an outstretched hand to say Jalen Hurts should sit? Has he performed up to his contract? Granted, Saquon Barkley hasn't either. But every time they keep handing the ball off to Barkley, right? The only player on offense who's been doing well this year is Dallas Goedert. You know what? To Jalen Hurts' credit, he's completed 41 passes to the middle of the field this year. That eclipsed all of 2020, his 2024 totals of 36. So yes, they are going to the middle of the field more. Dallas Goedert is involved in the offense, but he's not involved that much because he's not hurt yet. That tells me he's getting offense, but not as much as he's been in the past. Because if he was getting targeted as much as he was in the past Star Wars, he'd already be out with an injury. So I get what you're saying, but I'm gonna push back on that. Where was Brandon? Who is Brandon Graham? Is that Brandon Graham? I saw Brandon Graham out there. He's getting juked out of his jockstrap when I saw him. Forgot about Brandon Graham, Star Wars. Thank you for reminding me. That's right. We also brought in Old Man Ripper. Howie gets a minus this year from me. Oh, don't listen. I don't have the patience. I don't have the strength for Howie tonight. I don't. Howie gets a minus for me for a lot of years. All right. But where's the accountability on that? We've sacrificed 4 draft picks since the beginning of the season to get this, to put together this product that you see on the field. Where's the accountability on that? Where's Howie's accountability? He's potentially squandered an opportunity to provide the city of Philadelphia what they deserve an Eagles dynasty? Where's Howie's accountability on that? Where is it? The homers will tell you, nothing to see here. Don't worry about it. He's be fine. I disagree. But anyway, let me open up the phone lines. I'm sorry, Papernick. Please don't go anywhere. I got off on a rant. I should open them up before I start. I'll learn and I'll be better. But phone lines are now open. We are 46 minutes into the show. I just haven't gotten off the Eagles. Phone lines are open. If you want to join the conversation with me directly, click on that link. That's going to pop up in whatever social media platform you're watching. That'll take you backstage here with me, and I'll put you up on stage, and I will talk. You do not have to have your camera. You just have to be able to hear me and talk to me. I don't need to see you if you don't feel comfortable, but I do need to be able to talk to you and hear you. So go ahead, click on the link. Come on, air out your 2 cents. Give me your grievance. It's that time of the year. It's Festivus. Let's hit it. But while we wait, let's get into some more of this game. I went over some of the lowlights with the ball control and the play calling. The Eagles, heading into halftime of this football game, the Eagles had been outscored 27-3 in the last 4 quarters of football that they played. 27-3 heading into halftime against the Bears. They were outscored. The stat pack, the final word stat pack of the Eagle Bear game, Eagles were 1 for 2 in the red zone. They're now 22 for 29 on the season. They scored 3 first-half points for now a total of 161 first-half points for 12.3 average. They scored 12 points in the second half. Oh, hallelujah. They went on an offensive explosion in the second half. 109 points now for the half for the season, and a putrid 9.0 average. They're averaging 9 points per second half in 2025. Tell me again, it's the defense. They've committed 7 penalties for 44 yards, 91 penalties now on the year for 665 yards, 7 penalties a game for 51.2 yards a game. And I want you guys to listen to this fact. The Eagles are getting danger close. Danger close. They're approaching that 1,000-yard mark of penalized yards in 2025. We got what? 5 games left. There's a chance that the way this team is as undisciplined as they are and unprepared as they seem to be, there is a chance that they hit the 1,000-yard mark of penalized yards in 2025. And if they do that, they will be the first team in NFL history to ever be penalized for 1,000 yards in one season. I'm keeping an eye on that, and we'll be tracking this week to week like we always do as we get closer to that plateau of 1,000 yards. They did commit 1 turnover. I'm sorry, they forced a turnover. They've now forced 13 on the year. They committed 2. They've committed 8 turnovers. Jalen Hurts was not sacked in this football game. They got to Caleb Williams twice, and they were 0 for 0 on 4th down efficiency, as they never, ever went for it on 4th down. Indicative, of course, is that there's no 4th and short type situations that they found themselves in this game. And throughout the season, their numbers are way down in that category. The offense gets an F, 100%. F it is. F it is. So, all right, phone lines are open. We ranted and we raved for 50 minutes about the Eagles in this game, and I want to apologize to everybody out there. I do. Like I said at the beginning of the show, I'm not here to pat myself on the chest. I'm also not here to tell you that I'm taking any pleasure in this. But I've been out on this football team since a balmy November night in 2019 when I watched the Eagles lose to the Patriots. I've said they're not going to win with Carson Wentz again, and they're not going to win with Howie Roseman. And I left the nest, and I've been out ever since. So I'm not taking any personal joy or pride in this, but I called this back when I said I didn't like the offseason. There's too many question marks about the players he brought here. You're asking an awful lot of draft picks that have never shown that they can step into the role before. You got 0 production, literally 0 production out of your entire 2025 draft class in this football game. Not one of them took a snap in this football game. And you got a what was the other thing? I was on a rant. I got distracted. I'll remember it. Wow. Yeah. It's true. I'm out. I will come back when they fire Howie Roseman. They fire Nick Sirianni. I will come back when that happens. I'm trying to hold out for Jeff Lurie to sell the team, but that might be too much. But I'll come back if they fire Sirianni and Roseman. 100%. I need culture change. I need the change, the drama. It's got to end. Right, Michael Papernick? The drama's got to end.
Yes, you're right. How you doing, Matty?
I'm doing good.
Yo, so listen, do you know Jalen Hurts in 2022 under Shane Steichen, right? He threw for 3,700 yards, 22 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 66 completion rate, 760 rushing yards, 13 touchdowns, a 101.5. Now, under Brian Johnson, he had like an 89 quarterback rating. I mean,
yeah.
I'm going to give you the numbers. I'm going to give you the numbers.
I know, but 2022, Jalen Hurts had an MVP-like season. 100%.
Okay, this is what he did in 23. 3,800 yards, 23 touchdowns, 15 interceptions, 605 in rushing, 15 touchdowns, 89 interceptions. Now he got with Kellen Moore. The numbers really don't change in touchdowns. So with Kellen Moore now, he was, okay, let me get this back up. All right, here we go. 2,900 yards, 18 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. It don't say what he was rushing. Let me see. Don't say the rushing one here. 68% completion and a 103 rating. Here's my thing. It's why something's going on with Jalen this year. There's a disconnect. It's the same disconnect he had in 23. Now, the year that Steichen was there, the year before they went to the Super Bowl, or the year they went to the Super Bowl, Miles Sanders had almost 1,300 yards rushing. So,
yep.
I mean, how much is it? I mean, I know this team's built on the run and everything, but it's got to fall on somebody.
No, listen, I think it's simple as this. Listen, I want to be very clear. I'm not bashing Jalen Hurts.
Oh, no.
I'm not a Hurts guy. I think they could do better, but they can certainly do worse than Jalen Hurts.
No, I'm not.
The thing with Jalen is this. Now, hang on. The thing with Jalen is this. If you're going to ask Jalen Hurts to go out there and win you a football game, he's not going to be able to do it. More than not, he won't be able to do it. If you put a solid run game and if you're able to sort of give him an opportunity and open up his lanes and have that defense get a little bit more concerned about keeping more in the box in order to contain a running back and giving Jalen more opportunity, yes, he can absolutely win you a football game. But if you're going to put it all on his shoulders, it's not going to happen. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing because he's not that kind of quarterback. Plenty of quarterbacks are like that, and they get help from their offensive coordinator. They get help from their offense. They run creative plays. They try to work things out. And then the elite quarterbacks out there do what they do. It's the argument that Jalen Hurts is elite, and he's not. And I think we're wanting something for Jalen to happen that I don't think it's going to happen because I don't think that's him, and that's okay, Papernick. It is. I'm not bashing him for that. It's just that he's just not that kind of quarterback that's going to win a game on his own, if that makes any sense.
No, I get that. But under Steichen, this team was creative. Under Moore, this team had motion and creativity.
Yeah.
Under Brian Johnson and this moron running it, it's a wet paper bag I'm watching out there. There's nothing. The defense don't have to follow nobody around because there's no motion. They don't put nobody in the back, 2 guys in the backfield to make them think. The read option just disappeared. As Richard Sherman said, he's incompetent, Nick Sirianni. Listen, they have to look, we all know they're not going to should they probably bench Jalen Hurts? Yeah, maybe for a game or two, maybe put him out there. But then why does the axe have to fall on him and not Brown, Smith, Goddard, Jordan Mailata, and all that offensive line?
Saquon should be set too. Yeah.
The thing with Saquon, I think what's going on is the NFL knows what they're going to run. It's like a quarterback tipping his pitches. They know exactly what the next play is going to be. Up the middle, up the middle, up the middle. There's no.
Well, you saw the CJ, DJ, BJ, KJ as he's running off the field, yells out, they're going to fold. And then he was doing like a little, I think it was LaShawn McCoy or he was kind of doing a FaceTime with them in the locker room. And he's like, they asked him, did you know the plays? And he's like, no, I didn't. And he's like doing the wink eye and smiling. You're right. They're predictable. They're predictable. Yeah.
Because they're trying to run last year's offense with Petula's twist to it, and it ain't working because the NFL has the video on it. They can't do that. That's why I say they brought Vic Fangio in for a reason, because they know the moron running the team is incompetent to run anything on defense. So we're bringing our Jim Johnson. Leave him alone. They need to bring in a veteran OC who isn't looking to be a head coach in the NFL, and let him be. Frank Reich, Doug Peterson, anybody that just don't want to be a head coach in the NFL, and let them be. Let Nick Sirianni just sit there with the dunce cap on and clap his hands with pom-poms and all that stuff. I don't care, because he ain't winning the game for us.
No, and you mentioned this a few weeks back. I would not, and I know it's laughable to some people. I think this team needs an offensive coordinator like a John Gruden. I'm just going to light a fire in their ass. You know what I mean?
Well, they need a veteran guy here.
Yeah,
because I guarantee Sirianni's. I'll bet my house on this that he is overruling Kevin Petula on a lot of plays, thinking that he knows what he's doing. Look, he can't run a peewee football. He can't run a peewee football team. This guy. I mean, hey, it's bad. It's going to get worse. It's just going to go. Man, they're not going to. I don't think they. I'll put you like this: they have to get to the championship game to save Sirianni's. Whether they win or lose, to save his job. Otherwise, it's a Super Bowl team or bust. That's all. They got the talent, so they are a Super Bowl team or bust. They do.
They're absolutely, and that's absolutely because of what they did to the NFL last year. You didn't expect this kind of drop off. But again, I go back to that. They were so dominant and so many levels last year. But what's the one thing that's not working the same way last year that was working well last year?
The running game.
The running game off the cliff. It's not even close to
But that predicates off the offensive line, which is not a top 5 offensive line this year.
No, it does predicate off the offensive line, but it also predicates off of the running back. Saquon has something to do with that.
But this is where I'm getting at. Teams look like they know what plays are coming every week.
It's true.
It's like a pitcher. It's like Luzardo when he was tipping his pitches, or any pitcher. They tip them, they catch on to it. Teams catch on. When Jalen goes behind the center, 99.9% of the time, he's handing the ball off to Saquon Barkley. Now, why can't you mix that up? Like, why can't they do the fake tush push like they did with Saquon earlier in the season when he ran in for a touchdown?
Or run an RPO once in a while, something.
Yeah. I mean, they got to do something, because that's the problem. This team is just like a bunch of bricks just standing around, and the defense their defense ain't going to get tired because they're not running around or nothing. Yeah, it's bad.
Plays. The Bears ran 85 plays, Kaepernick, 25 plays more than the league average in a game.
Yeah. Well,
it's incredible.
Well, think about it. The defense is dying out there from an offense who has a ton of weapons, who lead the league in 3 and outs, which is horrible. Horrible. Now, here's the other thing. If they knew Jalen couldn't do passes over the middle or a slant or whatever, then why give the guy 270? Why do that?
That's the big question.
Package him. Look, like I said, I'll say it to you every time I talk to you. I know he'll fly himself out of Cincinnati. Jalen Hurts and every pick you got, and give him AJ. I don't care. Go get Joe Burrow. Seriously, Joe Burrow
played well this week.
Yeah, well, I'm telling you, if that guy had an offensive line and a decent defense, they'd be in the Super Bowl this year.
Miss Eveline 6
Tank.
says it's hashtag Tank and Tanner time. Hashtag Tank and Tanner time. I'm going to write that down. I like that.
But all right, Matty, I'm going to let you go.
All right, Pappernick, we'll be back here tomorrow night, man, so you can vent some more. All
yeah,
right.
I only vent to my dog when I'm here.
All right, Mike, we'll talk later, man.
All right.
Michael Pappernick coming on the hotline there. Team got figured out and the team got lazy. I'm not going off that. Everyone thinks we won. We are the champs, YOLO. But that's not how it works. I agree. You know, there's a lot to be said about the offseason. And I think now that we're going to have time, it looks like a little extra time this winter to sit back and think back of 2025. It started in the offseason. And I was banging the drum in March, April. What are you doing? First of all, why'd you sign Saquon to a contract extension? He didn't need one. Why'd you do that? Why are you letting 7 players who were main contributors off that Super Bowl team just walk away? And why are you replacing them with Ojolari, whatever his name? I don't even remember the guy's names. Right? And then you're going to sit here and tell me, we're letting draft picks have an opportunity to step in. Well, you had a bunch of draft picks in Keely Ringo and Brown, right? That nobody knew we all knew they couldn't play. But yet fans were wrapping their heads around saying they'd be fine. I know. Listen, I get it. We're passionate, man. But man, you got to look at reality, dude. What told you that Keely Ringo was going to be able to step into a starter's role? Then you're like, okay, we'll rely on our 2025 draft class. As I mentioned about 4 times now, there was a total of 0 snaps taken in this football game by the 2025 draft class. What in the hell has happened to Jihad Campbell? He's sliding way down on the depth chart. So, you're right. Did we get lazy? And when I say we, obviously the front office. Is Howie's kick the can down the road mentality? Is it finally coming back to hurt us now? And now some of those bills are due, and we don't have the money to pay for it. So we got to cut corners. And of course, the worst possible year to have to do that was going out and trying to repeat as Super Bowl champions. A lot of great questions, man. And then I love the Tank and Tanner time. I would take Joe Turf Toe in a heartbeat. I would too. I'm telling you, it is not sacrilege to say that Jalen Hurts, for whatever reason, is not working out. And they're still buffoons. Buffoons. And I want to be nice because I'm a good Catholic boy. But there are buffoons out there that actually think Jalen Hurts is having an MVP type season. Absolute buffoons. And I suggest if you know somebody like that in your life, you don't listen to them. Please don't listen to them. Please. They're going to poison your mind. But what is wrong with sitting down Jalen Hurts for one game, along with Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, half the offensive line? What's wrong with sitting them down? Again, it's all about messaging, right? Well, Jesus Christ, man, that would be a message. That would be a message being sent. All right, we are coming up over an hour, and we are stuck on the Eagles. By the way, if you're new to the network, please like, share, and subscribe on all of our platforms, especially on the YouTube, because we're growing this thing from scratch, and we need your help. So let's get into our second segment of the night, and that is our Of the Night segment. Let's roll the pretty graphic. All right, just like the graphic says, this is the Other Night segment. It's the time of the show where we take a look at a Flyers prospect, a Phillies prospect, an NHL draft prospect, MLB draft prospect, Philly spotlight player, Flyer spotlight player. Depending on what the season is, we step back and we take a look at one of these players. Tonight, we've been stuck in the NHL or the Flyers prospect land for a few months now as we're kind of in sports dead zone with the others. But tonight, breaking news, folks. We are going to up our game on the Of the Night segment. I'm going to give you 2 for a price of 1 tonight, as we are going to break the seal off of our 2026 NHL draft prospect pool. We're going to start breaking down the NHL draft with one player tonight. So a big night here on the program is officially my vacation of not having to do 4 of these things every night is over. That's when it's at its highest mark, where I'm doing spotlight players, draft players, MLB draft, prospect, and then it dies off around June, July, when I'm just down to doing Phillies prospects, and then we ride this into the fall when it transitions only to Flyers prospects. But now we're ramping back up. Now it's time to start talking NHL draft, and we're going to start tonight in the other night segment, along with our Flyer prospect of the night. So let's get it going tonight. Our Flyer prospect of the night is somebody that the Flyers are definitely relying on, and I'm relying on to pan out, and that is our 2025 second-round draft pick, Jack Murtaugh, the center left wing, currently with the playing for Boston University of the NCAA. He is a 6'1", 198-pound hybrid center left wing, an explosive winger. Murtaugh powers past and through opponents with explosive strides. If there's a puck battle, he's involved, throwing hits, digging under the sticks, and popping right back up after getting knocked down. He sticks with every play and never gets deterred, turning puck battles into chances. Murtaugh always looks off the wall after winning possessions. He powers through contact and unleashes quick release wristers with his feet moving forward. Definitely a player that you got to keep your eye on. It is his first year in Boston University, so you're going to see probably at least 2 seasons in the NCAA before Murtaugh makes that move up to the AHL. Maybe sooner, but he is. I remember when they took him, I projected Murtaugh to go late in the first round. The Flyers jumped on him about midway point of the second round. I was very happy about this draft pick. I love the player profile here. He's a gritty forward. He's a gritty center who plays, and I want to say this the right way. I don't mean he plays dirty, but he gets in the dirty areas of that ice, and he makes plays happen. And this is exactly what the Flyers need going forward in the future. Very excited about this guy's progression. Very happy that the Flyers drafted him, and he is our Flyers prospect of the night, 2025 second-round pick, Jack Murtaugh, currently with the Boston University. Is it the Bulldogs? That's the Bulldogs, I think. So there you go. There's your Flyer prospect. Now let's go to our NHL draft prospect. Yes, so tonight we start, and we'll start it tonight, and hopefully it goes throughout the winter into the spring. We're going to break down the top 33 players that are going to be targeted I think, in this year's NHL draft that will be held on June 27th and June 28th. Location to BD. They don't know. They have not announced the city yet of where they're going to hold this year's draft, but maybe it's Philadelphia. Maybe we, because of that whole 250-year thing, maybe Philly gets the draft this year. It's just like we're getting the MLB draft. But let's get it going. This is in no particular order. We will highlight some of the players. I will let you know who I think the consensus number 1 is in this group of players. This isn't him, but tonight we're going to roll with Ethan Belchetz, the left winger of the Windsor Spitfires, 17-year-old, plays up there in the Ontario Hockey League. 6'5", 227-pound left winger. Oh man, where do I sign up? Known for his goal-scoring, physical play, and a bit. No kidding, is he really not? I'm glad he's known for his physical play and ability to protect the puck. His strengths include a heavy shot, good hands, and tight spaces in an NHL-style game. Although his lateral skating mobility is a key area for development, he plays for the Windsor Spitfires in the OHL and has already earned a spot on the roster as a significant prospect. Yes, playing in the top junior hockey league in Canada, 6'5", 227. Let me tell you what. Yes, a lot of Eric Lindros pops off the page here, but of course, I'm not comparing this kid to Eric Lindros. All right, he does not have the scoring pedigree that Lindros, nowhere near that. But if Ethan Belchetz is available at the back end of that first round or the front end of the second round, you're damn right I'm picking him up. A 6'5", 227-pound left winger with offensive ability. 100% am I going after that kid. And there you go. It's official. We've broken ground on the 2026 NHL draft, and I could not feel better about it. That's great. I'm glad we're starting to talk NHL draft. So we did our NHL, we did our Flyers prospect, second round pick, Jack Murtaugh, and we did our 2026 NHL draft prospect, Ethan Belchez, the 6'5", 227-pound left winger of the Windsor Spitfires of the OHL, a projected first-round pick. This is not a goon. This ain't some kids being projected in the 6th, 7th round. No. This is a first-round projected 6'5", 227-pound left winger. Sign me up for the late first round. Absolutely. I'm going to make a prediction. He's going to get taken somewhere in that 20 to 28 range of this year's draft. You heard it here first. MattyB. Ricky, how are you tonight, my friend?
I am good.
How you feeling, Ricky? Did you have a good Thanksgiving weekend?
Mm-hmm.
Glad to hear, man. What's on your mind?
And go Flyers.
Yes, Ricky, I am about to jump into a Flyers segment, and you're right. Very, very impressed with their play over the weekend. Great effort against the Islanders. Great effort back-to-back against the Devils. Showing a lot of progress, a lot of poise, a lot of development. Rick Tocchet is really making his presence known in this hockey team. So I agree with you, Ricky. They broke over into the 30-point plateau, 31 points now for the season. They've now scored over 60 goals this year. Things are starting to click a little bit, Ricky. I agree. I'm going to break down the Flyers a little bit more here in a second. So, yes, 100%. Let's go Flyers. Is there anything else you want to talk about? Don't tell me let's go Sixers. Don't do it, Ricky. Don't do it.
Need to win. More.
Yes,
More.
they do.
Need to win.
All right, Ricky Deal, everybody. My main man. Love me some Ricky Deal. It ain't a night without Ricky. Ricky has to call in every night or the show is not complete. So thank you, Ricky, once again for being part of this. I'll be back tomorrow, my man. All right. All right. So with what I said, Ricky hit it, man. Let's go Flyers. Let's go Flyers. Let's talk some Flyers. So 2 very impressive wins over the weekend. If the Eagles are able to drag us through the mud, which they did over the weekend, the Flyers preserved our Philadelphia sports honor by going up into Long Island on Black Friday, playing a gutsy game against the Islanders, and then going out last night, back-to-back, up there in Newark against the Devils, and bringing, I thought, more energy to that game than they did to the Islanders game, which is weird because it's a back-to-back. Now, what that tells me, and even if the Flyers would have lost last night, I still would have been pretty impressed if they had put in that effort. But the effort that I've been seeing from the Flyers throughout the first 24 games of this season, you can definitely see the Rick Tocchet effect on this team. Defensively, they really play a nice keep away from the goaltender type defense. I love that. Keep the front of that net clean as possible. And on offense, it's the perimeter offense is still kind of there, but there's definitely a lot more creativity in the Flyers offense. The players are seemingly allowed now to take a little bit more chances offensively. And that is something to me that warms my heart. And as we continue to pick up the pieces of this franchise and try to get something better for the future, these are the games you want to see them win. And last night in New Jersey, to me, was a mark on the wall type game as we're tracking the progress of this rebuild. The goaltending is what it is. I'm not a big Vladar guy. I still don't think we have a starting goalie, but he's doing a good enough job. Can he continue to do that throughout the rest of the season? I hope he can, because Sam Ersson ain't no help. Of course, I mean, the goaltending situation is going to be a situation until we figure out if Carson Bjornsson or Igor Zaradin or whoever else is the next in line. But they're definitely there's a different vibe around this team than there was last year and the year before that and the year before that on their Tortorella, and I'm liking the development of the Flyers, and it was very good to see. And then tomorrow night they'll be back at it, I believe at home. Yeah, they're back home tomorrow against the Penguins. Big Mike has you for the post-game Clear the Ice. I'll have you on Wednesday, and I'll have you also on Sunday, as I got the Sabres and the Avs. So make sure you continue to follow the Flyers with us here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network. Just knocked it out, man. Just knocked it out, Ricky Deal. I hope I did it. So, hour 16 minutes, dominated conversation by the Philadelphia Eagles. Like the title show says, the collapses are coming. And I don't know if it's the Flyers, the Eagles can do anything about it. And the talk of the day is fire Kevin Padula. Now, it's not that I don't support that, nor do I not, and I am in favor if that's what they want to do. But is that really what's going to fix this thing? Because the offensive players are still here. So, yeah, that's where we've gotten to that point. We went over some of the dreadful numbers in this football game. Did I go over all of them? 281 rushing yards by the Bears. The Bears basically, what happened yesterday or Friday against the Eagles, it was like watching the 2024 Eagles being the Bears beating up on another team. They grinded them into submission through the air or through the ground, and they did just enough with their quarterback. And I'm not comparing Caleb Williams and Jalen Hurts. Caleb Williams stinks as a quarterback. It's terrible. But it was very much reminiscent of watching the Eagles last year of what the Bears did to the Eagles on Friday. It was very reminiscent of that. 85 total offensive plays by the Bears, 51 by the Eagles. The 10-minute mark of the third quarter, the Bears had already ran 51 plays, and the Eagles had only run 20. And the first 16 are supposed to be scripted, and the offense was that bad. Amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Let's wrap her up tonight, folks, with our final segment of the night. My favorite segment. You know what that is. Yes, indeedy. It's the MattyB card review. And we took pause last week and honored the holidays on Thursday night when I did the on Thanksgiving when we were on the air. We talked about a 2025 Topps holiday set card. It was the Adios Garcia relic game used equipment. It was a piece of his bat relic card. And tonight we're going to keep on with the holiday card theme because it's the holidays. If I don't mix them in at this time of the year, when the hell am I going to mix them in? So we're staying on 2025, same set that produced the Garcia card. And we're going to talk about tonight's card, the 2025 Purple Glitter Jacob Wilson Topps holiday card number H4 in the collection. Pretty cool card. Obviously, it's a parallel to the set. It's got a purple background or a purple border. Of course, this is the picture that they've used on every single Jacob Wilson card this year, but they've added in the purple borders, the glitter, very holiday, Christmassy, winter-esque type thing going on this baseball card. A very cool card indeed. And Jacob Wilson, of course, is your reigning National League or American League MVP, isn't he? He won the MVP last year, or this year he won a Gold Glove. He won something like no, he won the Gold Glove. I think he won the MVP the year before that. So awesome looking baseball card. Got Topps rookie shield there in the lower left-hand corner. And just very Christmassy, man. As I said, I thought the Topps holiday cards this year, they really hit a home run. The ones from 2024, it looked like Christmas had thrown up on them, but these are very classic cards. They just got the outline of the border there with the wreath on it, but this is the parallel purple glitter version. And a pretty hefty price tag with this card right now. A card that just came out. When did this card come out? This set came out October 22nd. This card is about $11 right now, worth on a lot of the sites that I visit. So we will be on at 9 tomorrow, Ricky. Am I on tomorrow? Yeah, I'm on tomorrow at 9. But pretty It comes with a pretty nice little price tag, but definitely a colorful card. Here it is in its physical form. Of course, all my cards are raw, meaning they have not been graded at all. There's the back of it right there. So there you go. Very nifty looking card, man. I like it. They had a home run with this. I enjoy these cards. The Topps holiday cards. And tomorrow, big news in the MattyB household. We get to open up, or I get to open up my first pack of my holiday card 2025 advent calendar. That's right. Tomorrow's December 1st. God damn it. I get to open up my first pack of cards. Can't wait. And I got pack a day for the next 24 days. So looking forward to that. But all right, guys, that is going to wrap me up for the night. I want to thank everybody for a spirited conversation. Michael Papernick, Ricky Deal, Star Wars, Miss Aveline 6. Thank you very much for joining in the conversation. Hope you guys had as much fun tonight as I did. Got to get it off our chest somehow, and we did. Is the collapse coming? I think it is. And whose heads are going to roll? So, till we talk again tomorrow night, guys, enjoy your first day back at work, everybody. I know it's not the news you wanted to hear from me, but I hope you enjoy your day. We'll see you again tomorrow night on the program. Make sure you're checking out all the great stuff here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network that's coming at you on the daily. We'll talk tomorrow night. We'll see you.